Welcome back to the place where we check in with all of the latest happenings, off the field happenings, quirky, interesting stats and facts related to the world of the IPL 2022. And obviously, there's a lot of talk around the game that took place between the Lucknow Super Giants and the Gujarat Titans, which the Gujarat Titans won and thus became the first team to seal their spot in the IPL 2022 playoffs. However, many attributed the fact that they won the match to the fact that the Lucknow Super Giants actually pretty much threw the chase away in many ways, and this is something that their team mentor Gautam Gambhir has mentioned in a video that has been shared on the Lucknow Super Giants YouTube account. Now in that you can see that he points out very clearly to the players that it's acceptable and okay to win or lose matches, that's part of sport, but what is not acceptable is to give up or to play in a way that does not suit situations, and many would agree with that, given that one would think that Lucknow would make an easy chase out of what was a low total even on a tough pitch, but in the end they ended up throwing the game away and it was the Gujarat Titans who became the first team to seal their spot in the playoffs. Now, speaking of the Gujarat Titans, one of the reasons they got as many runs as they did was the fact that Shubman Gill ended up scoring a nice little half century. However, before the second innings, he was criticized at times for going a little slow. Now, that might have seemed like a problem to begin with, but in hindsight, his innings turned out to be the difference between the two sides, as no one else actually came close to scoring the number of runs he did. And the fact is that he chose to hit out at anyone who was trolling him, sharing a tweet that talked about how he was brutally trolled for what was a slow knock. Shubman Gill simply replied with two emojis, that of a tortoise and a hare. The implication here obviously being clear that he might have played a little slow, but in the end it was indeed him and the Gujarat Titans who ended up winning the race. Now, moving on to a match that is coming soon and one that will have playoff implications for one side. I am of course talking about the Chennai Super Kings and the Mumbai Indians, IPL's very own El Clasico. Now, there's plenty of chatter that has been happening, but the Chennai Super Kings posted a very interesting video featuring their mystery spinner from Sri Lanka, Mahesh Theekshana, where, as you can see here in this video which is shared on their social media, he actually talks about some very interesting things, including how he had to deal with excessive weight from his early cricketing days and how he lost that weight to become a much leaner, fitter player that we see now. Very interesting here, and I would highly recommend you go and check that out. And speaking of interesting things that you should seek out if you can, Mumbai Indians sent Ishan Kishan to the pre-match press conference ahead of the match against, of course, the Chennai Super Kings, and he had some interesting things that he revealed, and one of the key things he revealed was the advice he got from both his skipper Rohit Sharma as well as former India captain Virat Kohli. Now, he said that both of them advised him not to focus too much on his price tag and instead focus on playing the game and playing it well. Of course, it is worth noting that Kishan so far this season has somewhat struggled to live up to the billing that comes with being a 15.25 crore player, one of the most expensive players in this season's IPL. But the simple fact of the matter is that the advice he's gotten from those veterans is very good, and if you're a Mumbai Indians or even an India fan, you'd hope that he can find his form sooner rather than later. And lastly, we're ending things with a little bit of fun, because we at Sports Today love having fun. Now, the Rajasthan Royals have posted a very interesting little video teaser on their Twitter account, where they are talking about something that you never thought you'd see before. And yes, indeed, the video is previewing, you can see Jos Buttler, who is the current orange cap holder, holding the ball, and the man who you see there warming up with the bat is current purple cap holder Yuzvendra Chahal. Now, the video goes on to show that Jos Buttler is bowling spin to Yuzvendra Chahal, who's all padded up and ready to take him on. I don't know about you guys, I'm definitely looking forward to that, and I'm going to be seeking it out whenever it drops. I think I would recommend that you do the same, because it's sure to be a lot of fun. And on that note, I say thank you very much for joining us on this latest edition of the News Wrap. If you are joining us on a very regular basis, I highly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like on the video, comment, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and last but not the least, if you enjoy playing some fantasy games, don't forget to download the Gamezy app. Use the link in our description to get some bonus cash and stand a chance of winning 5 crores every single day. So what are you waiting for? Download the app. As always, I am Shane Dice, and I will see you guys